What have I become now that I've betrayed? Things are becoming a little bit fuzzy, or should I say fuzzy, over Chris Jericho's career. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And could we see a Judas? Could we see Chris Jericho trade AEW for WWE? Has he got one last run in World Wrestling Entertainment? Perhaps. Maybe. And you know what? I always wanted to see Jericho return to WWE. It was cool seeing him in a different company on mainstream TV. We never got to see it in TNA, and I always thought we would. When Jericho left WWE in 2005, I just assumed that he would go to TNA. It never happened. He returned to WWE in like 2007, 2008, and he just continued to wrestle there. And then obviously he would have little breaks and periods away, and I still thought he would go to TNA, but the longer it went, the older Jericho got, and the worse TNA got, and you just assumed it was never going to happen. By like 2014, 15, 16, TNA was going down the toilet. It didn't have the mainstream appeal that it once had. It didn't have the stars that it once had. It didn't seem to have the money that it once had to pay someone like a Chris Jericho. And I think we just all assumed at that point, here, Chris is going to be in WWE forever. But then he leaves after his little WrestleMania match with Kevin Owens. He goes to Japan, reinvents himself, does a good job. Then we hear about AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Jericho joins that, becomes the first ever world champion in that promotion. And for the first 18 months, first couple of years, I thought AEW was actually okay. And I think Chris Jericho was a big part of that because it was entertaining. He literally had a meme. Chris Jericho got probably the over thing that I've seen in wrestling in the last decade, easily. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly, and that was going crazy for weeks and months. That was everywhere. That was, everyone was like incorporating it into songs. It was like going viral on the internet. It was great, but unfortunately, the last like 4 years of Jericho's career in AEW, it's not been good. He put on a shitload of weight. He's had some like lame gimmicks. He had the learning tree. He had the Jericho Appreciation Society. Let's be honest, a lot of shit. And at this point, I'm thinking, right, I'm not interested in seeing Jericho in AEW anymore. I don't want to see that. I want to see him return to WWE. But the only problem is, since Jericho's AEW career, since his run in AEW started going to complete shit, not long after that, McMahon left WWE, and now WWE is complete shit. And WWE is as bad as it's ever been. And honestly, at this point, I'm not even that bothered. And I know that's sad. But if Chris Jericho never returned to WWE, I honestly would not care. Now, saying that, if I said that even like 4 or 5 years ago, I would never actually say that because I would think that Jericho would be somebody that can offer a lot to WWE, but I look at WWE now and it is garbage. I mean, it is. I just don't care. I mean, you don't care who shows up because you know it's going to be shit. You look at Netflix, Raw, USA on SmackDown. The shows are garbage. So whether Chris Jericho returns to WWE or not, they're not going to do a good job with him. They're not going to do anything interesting. Every time Jericho comes out, we'll probably have to wait 10 minutes for an entrance. He's going to have the same shitty promos that everyone else has. If he has a match on Netflix and it lasts 15 minutes, you're going to have to sit through 4 commercial breaks to see it. They'll probably cut him off halfway through a promo because that's what they seem to fucking do. The product's crap, so it's like, at this point, it doesn't really matter what you add to it or who you add to it. It's not going to be good. For example, if you're baking a cake and someone takes a turd, if someone takes a dump in your mixing bowl, after that, it doesn't matter what ingredients you add because you're just going to be adding good ingredients into shit. And that's kind of what WWE is like. It doesn't matter how many good wrestlers or legends that you add now onto these shows. The shows are shit. I mean, they might make it a little bit less shit, but at the end of the day, man, it's still going to be shit anyway. let's see what the reports are with Chris Jericho. So, WWE are said to be significantly interested in bringing Jericho back once his contract expires. According to WrestleFotes, they said the following, quote, "We can confirm after speaking to our sources that there is significant interest in Chris Jericho coming back to WWE once his AEW contract would allow him to do so. We're told that several within WWE, including active talent, would like to see him return to the company." Despite spending the last 6 years with AEW, Jericho has remained friendly with a number of people inside WWE, we are told, according to that source. They ultimately do expect a deal to be completed once Chris is legally able to do so. End of quote. So, according to WrestleFotes, they believe that the deal will be done and that Jericho will be returning to WWE in 2026. And yeah, I just look at the state of AEW and the direction that AEW is going. And I know Jericho said he would have been happy to retire in AEW, but I mean, come on. AEW now is not what it was like a couple of years ago. I mean, we look at the ratings, and the ratings are fucking abysmal. It's been, what, a year and a half? I mean, probably even, yeah, I think at least over a year and a half since they got over 800k. When Jericho was talking about seeing out his career, Dynamite was like hitting 1 million viewers, and I mean, now they're lucky if they can hit 600,000. So, yeah, the hype behind AEW is completely dead, and it's just not, it's not even interesting anymore the way it once was. So, and there's also belief that Jericho could be in the 2006 Royal Rumble, according to Dave Meltzer, who said the following, quote, "There are those in AEW who believe that he's not going to be back and will start in WWE as a Royal Rumble surprise. The only thing we've heard from WWE is that they expect him, but keep in mind at this stage of everything, if he's looking to go there or negotiate with them, he's going to give that impression." End of quote. According to Dave Meltzer, people in WWE are of some impression that if they want Jericho, they can probably sign him in January. Jericho is said to be one of the highest paid wrestlers in AEW, and there are questions in regards to how much Khan is willing to pay to keep him. Yeah, you know what, Jericho, at this point, I'll be honest, I don't know if he's worth the big money that AEW are paying him. And it's maybe not even Jericho's fault, you know, it could just be down to the way AEW is, the company is, and the way they booked him, and the fact that Jericho has been in this company, and this company's been shit now for years, and the company has almost dragged Jericho down. And you can say the same thing for WWE. I mean, if you look at people who are somewhat relative draws in comparison to the current day age, like, let's take CM Punk, for example. Don't necessarily like the guy, but there's no doubt about it. When it comes to current wrestlers, and I'm not putting them in the bracket of people from the past, but when it comes to current day wrestlers, he would be one of the bigger draws. He would be one of the guys that can pop a rating or bring in views, or should I say, at least he was. When he was on, look at Dynamite. I mean, Rampage, 1.2 million on the second show. I mean, fantastic rating for a shit show like Rampage. It was the only show that got over 1 million. Collision completely fell off in the numbers when Punk left. When he first returned to WWE on Raw, if you actually look at the shows, whenever Punk would appear on a Raw, it would get like a minimum of a couple 100,000 more. It was like about 300 to 400,000 more when Punk was on the show for like the first, I want to say, maybe 6 months. But now, it's like just fucking dead. And nobody cares about the guy. His clips, when CM Punk first came back, for about the first 6 months, his clips were getting about a couple of million. Every time that loaded a CM Punk clip, it would get way over 1 million. Sometimes, you know, a couple of million. There was that one Raw where he had a clip, and it was higher than both The Rock's clips. The Rock had like both The Rock's clips on Raw were like over 1.5 million or something like that, and Punk had like 1.7 after 24 hours. So there was a time when, like, you know, Punk would give you a bit of a ratings boost, but that time is done. That is dead. And it's partially because Punk's run's been fucking shit, and you can blame it on him, you can blame it on WWE. Same applies to Jericho. His last 4 years in AEW have been absolutely shit. Now when Jericho pops up on Dynamite, or if he has a video uploaded, a clip to the YouTube channel, nobody cares. He's not doing any numbers. So I can understand if Tony Khan doesn't think he's worth the value, if Tony Khan doesn't think he's worth the investment, it would be hard to argue that based on the numbers. So yeah, and once upon a time, Jericho was the best thing about AEW, and he was the big name, and you felt like it was crucial for AEW to keep him. Now, I don't feel like that is the case. But anyway, guys, that is it. Let me know what you think down below. Catch you in the next one. Would you rather see Jericho return to WWE, or would you rather see him stay in AEW? Till next time, peace.